Hi, welcome to the Kayla Show. Today I'll be interviewing Merritt Winningham, who played the character of Wendy in the 1980s film St. Elmo's Fire. Hi Merritt, how are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So tell me, how was your experience being part of the cast of St. Elmo's Fire?
Well, it was a very good experience, and it was definitely very fun working with the other cast members, and I got to know a lot of good people on the set, which is amazing. And also, since the movie was being released at the same time period as I was living in and the time that it was being filmed, I was actually able to really easily and enjoyably act my part as a young adult living in the heat of the 1980s as I was back then.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Can you explain Wendy's character? What was her personality and what kind of conflicts did she get into in the film?
Okay, so Wendy is born and raised in a very conservative household, and she's very shy and reserved. But she actually wants to break free from her conservative family and live in the heat of the 80s lifestyle just like her friends. Her father actually wants her to marry this man, but she's actually in love with Billy, and she really doesn't like him. She doesn't love him. She doesn't want to marry him. And in the beginning of the movie, she's too afraid to voice her opinion. She wants to tell her father she doesn't want to marry this guy, but at the end of the movie, though, she stands up for herself and she tells her father that she wants to get her own apartment, gain some independence for herself, and she also tells him that she loves Billy.
Oh, I see. Can you also tell me a little about what it was like in the 80s?
Well, the 1980s was a time of technological and medical advances, and this allowed for things like safer sex due to more sufficient contraceptive methods, and things like birth control pills came about, and women felt like they had more power, and for the first time they were able to control things like sex and pregnancy. They felt more powerful and wanted more independence, and for example, Wendy wanted to live in her own apartment and apart from her family, and multiple partners, and homosexuality also became very socially accepted in the 1980s.
I see. Was Wendy's behavior common amongst girls her age in the 1980s?
Well, I'm not really sure if it was common, but I can say that there were definitely girls who wanted more independence, and even though they were born in a very conservative family, they were socially influenced by people around them, and they wanted to change and move away, and because they were very hungry for their independence.
How does Wendy feel when she finally gets the courage to speak up for what she wants?
I think Wendy feels that she has more control in her life now, and instead of living like the rest of her conservative family, she's able to live on her own in her apartment, and she believes that it was time for her to achieve some personal freedom, and it fit nicely with the time period because it was also a time when women felt definitely more powerful and were able to do the things that they weren't able to do in the past. And along with moving into her own apartment, she also shows her newfound freedom by losing her virginity to Billy. And unlike what sex means to someone like Jules, Wendy loses her virginity out of love and not just out of lust.
I see. How about Billy's character? Was his behavior common amongst men at the time?
Again, I'm not really sure if it was common, not really sure of the statistics, but it was a period of time when sex was very popular, and because contraceptive methods came out, people thought it was okay and to have sex and with more people, and that it would be safer. I'm not saying that all men were just like Billy, but there were definitely many men who, went out to have pointless sex, just like Billy did.
I see. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
I'll see you soon.
All right.
The 1980s was a time of revolution in the United States. As time advanced, so did technology and medical opportunities, such as effective contraceptions, creating an era that called for a lot of sexual freedom for males and females alike. Like all revolutions, the 1980s sexual revolution was a fight put out by liberals against conservatives for acceptance of premarital sex, having multiple partners, and having homosexual partners. Females felt more powerful as they were able to control things they weren't able to control before, such as taking the pill. Drugging and drinking became far more accepted for both genders. This newfound freedom found its peak in the 1980s, and following the trend of the sexual revolution peak was confusion between sex and love, as well as friendship, which is shown in St. Elmo's Fire. For example, when Kevin thought that because he and Leslie had sex, they were in love. But Leslie did not think so, for she had sex with Kevin from confusion and anger of what happened with her and Alec. To Kevin, sex and love carry the same meaning, whereas to Leslie, they were related yet very different things. The movie takes factual history and turns it into a film. The film St. Elmo's Fire accurately portrays the sexual revolution of the 1980s. Each of the characters living in the heat of the time, and the movie shows the audience the lifestyle and conflicts of the 1980s. The young adult lifestyle, their perception of entertainment, and also the 80s fashion is correctly depicted in the movie. Using the 1980s sexual revolution era, the producers of the film pointed out that the problems of the era to create the climax and conflicts. Drug addiction and the problems that come with drug addiction are shown through Jules' character. She is a cocaine addict and she hits rock bottom and attempts to freeze herself, which she does, though thankfully saved by her friends. The social acceptance of having multiple partners is also shown through many characters in the film, but the conflict of that is shown as Alex's relationship with Leslie comes crashing at a point in the film. The film also shows the social changes of the 80s. The acceptance of homosexuality is presented through Jules' neighbor and through her talk with Kevin when she inaccurately suspects that Kevin is gay. The independence of woman is shown through Wendy's brave decision to tell her conservative father that she would like to get her own apartment and that she will not marry the man her father chose for her because she loves Billy.